Hmm, let me guess. You're thinking, why does the title say not the worst TouchDesigner tutorial? Honestly, I could have gone with some random clickbait, but I chose this. Don't ask me why. All I can promise is that this tutorial won't waste your time. Worst case, I'll take a bit of your precious time. Best case, you'll learn something new. But let's find out. Hello everyone. In this short tutorial, we're going to learn how to create this animation inside of TouchDesigner. As you can see, the network is quite small, so you won't face much difficulty in building it. I've also spent some time on post-processing to enhance the final look. You can easily achieve different outcomes with the same network only. So, without further ado, let's get started. We begin with an audio file in Chop. You can load any audio of your choice by pressing the plus icon. I've bypassed the audio device out for now. After that, I used a rename chop to rename the audio channels to TX and TY. Next, I added a select chop to isolate the TX channel, followed by an info chop to extract its sample count. Then I brought in a noise chop. In the noise chop, I set the noise type to random and renamed the channel to TX to match the audio channel. I then linked the length parameter from the info chop to the noise's end parameter so the sample count stays consistent. After this, I used a math chop to combine the two chops. For the TY channel, I repeated the same process. First a select chop, then a noise chop. Here I kept most settings the same, but adjusted Translate Z using a well-known expression. Then I renamed the channel to TY, and again connected the length from the info to the end parameter to match the sample length. Afterward, I combined both operators using another math chop. Next, I attached an additional math chop after the rename chop, where I combined the channels using the divide operation, and renamed this output to TZ. Then I merged all three channels, TX, TY, TZ, using a merge chop. To refine the data, I added a resample chop to increase the number of samples. Here I set its type to new rate, new interval, and disabled the timestamp, and adjusted the end parameter to 4,999 samples. At the end of this chop network, I placed a null chop. From there, I used a chop to SOAP to convert the chop data into a 3D mesh. After attaching a null SOP, I added a geometry comp, then built a standard render network with a camera, a render top, and material. For the material, I used a line matte, enabled draw vectors, set the scale to 1.11, and tweaked a few other values. You can experiment with these settings as you like. I used a resolution of 1280 by 1280 for the render top. After the render, I created a simple feedback loop using a feedback top, followed by a level top to control opacity, and a composite top set to add operation. I then dragged the composite back into the feedback. For extra variation, you can insert another level top and invert it to achieve the look you see here. To add a background, I placed a transform top. Since some transparency appears, I set the alpha value to 1 to remove it. After that, I used an HSV Adjust top to make the colors more vibrant, followed by an RGB Delay comp. I also added another level top, which isn't essential. You can bypass it if you like. This part is quite flexible, and you can experiment with any operators. I included an RGB key top and another HSV Adjust top to further refine the visuals. Adjusting the hue offset here can dramatically change the color scheme. Finally, I placed a null top at the end of the chain. And that's it. With just a small and simple network, you can create a very cool visual effect. The rest is about experimenting and making it your own.